Hello everyone, I am the e-bike cowboy.
Hi, this is MX Electric.
And for today's video, we'll be giving you the basic on forks and shocks. Hey everyone, the e-bike cowboy here, and I'd like to talk about my shocks. These are 320 millimeters. These are the upgrade of the standard shocks. These were simple to put on. MX Electric put them on for me. I was doing stuff around that time. I actually traded, because these were originally on his bike, but he got upgraded his to a smaller size, and so I just asked if I could have these on mine. And so they were good. If you ever have problems, because the regular shocks, they're kind of long for me. I had a hard time when they were on. I couldn't get on the bike, and even if I did, I was on my tippy toes. I wear like running shoes that definitely helped, but not enough. And so when we put these shocks on, it like lowered the bike. So as you can see, I can have my one foot down on the ground. Before I would have to have it like tippy-toed like that. And so it works good. I like it. They absorb as much shock as the old ones, so they're fine. These aren't really what you would want if you want really good shock absorption, but they're good if you want your bike to be lower to the ground. That's where they're really good. Now on to MX Electric, for his is even more modified.
Hi, this is MX Electric, and we're talking about shocks. Shane just talked about his. The only thing that we did different on his to lower it a little bit is this little fork mount at the bottom. We took off the lock nut, and it just screws out of the shocks real easy. And we cut a 1/2 inch of thread off of it, and then put some blue Loctite on it and just screwed it back into the housing. And that ended up, between that and the sag, that ended up lowering the back of Shane's bike about 3/4 of an inch. It made it handle better. And I originally had it on my bike, and I was really surprised of how much difference just trimming that much off and letting the bike sit a little lower. It just made you feel more connected. Shane's still running his stock forks, so we raised the fork tubes up a 1/2 inch, so they're sitting a 1/2 inch above the triple clamp. And you just measure from right there at the little top washer part, from there to the top of the triple clamp, and so they're a 1/2 inch. And then that lowered his whole bike, making it easier to get on and off, and it just makes the bike planted, and it handles better, quite a bit better. It was really surprising, just that little bit, how much better the bike handled. So we thought, well, if that's good, I looked to see if they had any shorter shocks, and they do on Amazon, the same brand. And these ones though are 280 millimeters long, so they're 40 millimeters, 2.1 inches shorter. Same way, they go right in. The only thing you need to do on these is add a washer. There's one on the inside of the swing arm mount on the right side, and on the left side the washer goes right there against the fork of the little fork mount. And there's a little, inside this neoprene bushing, there's a little steel tube, and it comes out, and you just to get the little washer to fit, you just take that with a file or a little Dremel and just grind just a tiny bit off of it, maybe 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch, and then that lets that little washer go in, and then that takes up all the play. For these installations, you can also go to Uncle Fester's channel, and he did a similar mod on his which one does he have now?
It's a Hyperscorpion.
Hyperscorpion, that's right. And he goes more detailed, but it's really simple. It's nothing. I haven't even messed with the air pressure. These, you can change air pressure. They were both very stiff till we got 100 to 120 miles on them, and then the springs broke in, and they started riding a lot better. At first, you didn't notice much difference over the stock ones. They were pretty stiff, but as they broke in, they just started working better and better. Now, when I put these on, they just bolt in, and it dropped the whole bike a little over 2 inches. So now, instead of being almost 36-inch seat height, mine's just under 34-inch high seat height. Shane and I are 5'9", I'm 210. So that really made it nice. It lowered it. It's easier to get on and off, but when you ride it, it handles a lot better, because now all of a sudden you've brought the weight down and you've changed the swing arm angle a little bit, and it just seemed like it soaked up bumps and a lot of the chop. They just ride better. So, if you're kind of on your tippy toes and you're like, well, I wish the bike wasn't quite so high, I like everything else about it, go and buy the 280 millimeter shocks. If you like it the height that is, just buy the 320 millimeter shocks, and you're going to get a better ride as soon as the springs break in. So you definitely work better. They're worth the money, because the red ones were 68. These, I got them on sale for 63 for the blue ones. That's why I bought the blue ones, because they were on sale. And then on the front, like I said, Shane's running his stock fork. So, and they work good. They're not a bad fork, but I wanted to see if the air fork would work better. So it's $259. It fluctuates a little bit on Amazon. It's on Amazon. Shane will show you the links. It's got a little air valve in here. You spin that out, and there's a little air valve under there. And you can they make a little shock or fork pump, and I think that was like $16-18. You can run the air pressure in these up to, I believe it's 200 pounds. I let the air out, and because they felt really stiff, and I'm running it at 120 pounds. And this thing soaks up really good. It's like night and day. What was the stock forks on little chatter bumps and potholes and kind of the rough joints in asphalt or concrete, it's very harsh. You can feel it bang, bang, and you can feel it in your wrists and your arms. And when I got this, we went in the same place we've been riding, and it's just more supple. It soaks it up, and I would see a big bump coming and hold on and kind of tense up like I would with my stock forks, and I'd hit it, and you just it feels like you're just rolling through it instead of bang, 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 like on a pogo stick. It works really good. So because I lowered my shocks, I've run my forks up 3/4 of an inch, and from there to the top of the triple clamp. I've ran them. I had a different handlebar clamp that was higher, and I've ran them up as much as almost 1.25 inches, and that lowered it even more. And it just makes now all of a sudden you're not on such a tall bike, and you're kind of down in it, and it leans better, because it's not all so much weight. The more you can lower your weight, the better your bike's going to handle. It doesn't matter. Anything 2 wheels is like that. So that really helped. Is it a mandatory thing? No. Do you have to do it? No. But if you can afford it, I think it was just over $280 with shipping and tax, like $284. So with that in the shock, you're looking, $365 or so for both. It's worth it. I mean, it makes a big difference. And we've been able to go from mine to Shane's with the stock forks, and kind of test between both of them, and so it definitely makes a difference. It'll just make your riding last longer. So I think it was just a direct bolt in. Everything, it fits the same as the juiced forks. You take those off, put these in, everything bolts up. Just there's a certain washer arrangement. So when you take these out, take them out slow and watch which washer goes where. Because that bigger one's kind of a funny cupped one, and then it has like a tea saucer shaped one on the other side. But other than that, it's just, bolt them on. Everything just bolted in really easy. So it keeps your handlebar the same height, everything. And the nice thing is, not only does it work better, these forks are 4¼ pounds lighter than the stock juiced fork. So you've just lightened your bike up by 4¼ pounds. So that's about it. That's the, the tip of the day. Thank you.
Hey everyone, if you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you've been enjoying my content so far, please consider subscribing. If you want to buy these shocks and MX Electric's fork, the link to them will be down in the description below. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, the link to my profile will also be down in the description below. I'll see you later, my friends.